Welcome to Becoming Fearless, the personal growth podcast for you if you are ready to overcome fear and step into your greatness. Our purpose is to help you overcome your limits, have loads of fun along the way, unlocking your fullest potential in life, business, health and relationships every single day. I'm your host, Charlotte Carter, a high-performance coach and entrepreneur with over 20 years' experience. I've supported many highly driven, talented people like you who dream big and are ready to take action to overcome what's holding them back. Each week, my guests and I will be sharing hacks and habits on how to build self-belief, courage and confidence to master your mindset and navigate your emotions so that you can reach your human potential in a way that feels light, fun and easeful and helps you become fearless. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Becoming Fearless. I am really excited today. I have a guest expert episode to bring to your ears. And it's this guest's first ever podcast interview. So I'm really privileged to be able to claim that space with Nicky as she enters the podcast world and shares all of her wisdom, all of her talents with more and more people to create more and more impact in the work that she does so that she can help more and more people. So, Nicky, are you just okay to just introduce yourself and let people know a little bit about what you do?
Yes, well, first of all, thank you very much. And that was an amazing introduction. And I'm very excited. It is my first ever podcast. So thank you for inviting me on. And today I'm going to be talking about pranic healing and how I came into that journey, first of all, and then a little bit more about it and how it can help people in so many different ways in every aspect of their lives.
Brilliant. So let's just touch on, I want to just touch first of all on energy that I talk a lot about on this podcast, but I just met Nicky. I saw Nicky at an event that I was speaking at and was aware of her, but I don't think we actually spoke at that event, did we?
No, not at the event. We're Facebook friends and we were like exchanging on Facebook and have done for a little while. And then when I saw you at the event, it was really lovely to see you in person. And then we connected more again on Facebook. It was such a busy day. There's so much going on. Oh my goodness.
It was. And I can remember we had a call that was just like, I just want to know a little bit about what it is that you do, which is what I do with a lot of my guests. If somebody's brand new to my world or I haven't seen them or spoke with them in detail, and I will kind of have a call with them to see whether they're the right kind of guest. And Nicky and I had this call and it was like we've known each other for years, and it's just like, oh well, what about this? It's just a real when you meet people and it's a really lovely mutual respect and bond, and that's kind of the journey that Nicky and I have been on. That's been very short, brief and pretty intense on some levels. So that's how I brought Nicky into the world. But if we start by letting people know a little bit about your life pre-pranic healing. So what was your life now? What was your journey like before you were aware of the whole this whole healing modality?
Yes. For me, I've always been into self-help and wanting to be the best version of myself. And I think that that's really where the journey came from. I have had trials and, challenges like everybody else in terms of my health. And I was smoking at the time for very many years and I've tried to give up numerous times. And so doing a lot of self-help and kind of going under and really looking at what drove all of those things was really something that I wanted just to be the best version of myself, really. So it started very much from that angle, and I've always looked at different modalities and been very interested in kind of energy and how it works and studied some of them. And each in their own right is great in its own right. But it was when I was doing a self-help course, a self-development course. And who's one of my teachers now, Master Stephen Coe, came on stage and he was talking about energy and he got us to feel this energy. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my goodness, this is something I definitely want to explore more of. And he was based over in the States. So I looked over in the UK, and found out that the Institute of Pranic Healing UK and Ireland was based here. My teacher, Les Flitcroft, was teaching down south, and I was like, my goodness, I need to go and have a look at this. And the more I learned, there was different courses, of healing. There's all kinds of different courses, but I started off with the healing courses. And the more I learned, the more I knew that there was more and more to learn. In fact, the more that you learn, you realise how much you don't know and how much more there is to know. And that's what makes it so amazing, because you never ever stop learning. There's not a time when you don't learn more. You can learn the basics, you can learn the techniques, but then there's much deeper levels, which is amazing. So from that, I gave up smoking, which I was absolutely delighted to be able to do. My goodness, yes, that was some achievement. That was many, many years of, not the best of times, trying to give up, and then came across Pranic Healing, and literally the cravings, everything stopped, and that was it. I after the sessions, it was done. And then my own physical health, if there's anything that's ever going on, I'm able to, everything I learn I can do with clients, I can also do on myself. So yes, it's a wonderful tool to have in the box. It's all I can say on so many different levels. But yeah, it started with health for me.
So if people are listening, as a lot of my listeners are curious, as am I, and they may never have even heard of pranic healing in any way, shape, or form, can you give like a real simplistic overview of what it works or how it works with people, so that they could get an idea as to whether it's something that they'd like to explore?
Absolutely. So pranic healing, it's a transfer of energy from one person to another. So we know, have you ever been in a room where everything's uplifting and you're feeling good, and alternatively you walk into a room and there's a real atmosphere and the energy kind of drops? So we know that there's something that's kind of going on behind it, and there must be a mechanism or formula to make this happen. So Master Cherokoksu's Pranic Healing is a science of energy healing, and it's based on principles, mechanisms, techniques, and application. So that's where the science element comes from. So if you're feeling out of sorts and you have a chat, with a friend, and you feel better, to a degree, that's a level of healing that you've had. Or if a child hurts and you touch its knee, and a parent touches its knee and it comforts it with a cuddle, it's another, that's, the child also feels better. So we know that there's something within the energy. And the other thing to say is, predominantly around the world right now, there's we know that there's 90% of illnesses and disease are stress related. So what is stress? Stress is an energy that's created in the body, and we know that there's good stress and bad stress. And with pranic healing, it gets stored in the body, and with pranic healing we can help to remove this. So the pranic healing is based on the principle that the body can heal itself, which is amazing. And we learn techniques to be able to apply these by a step-by-step guide. So it's easy to apply and anyone can learn it, which is wonderful. And how I kind of got into it. So you can just literally go and find a course. So there's nothing new about pranic healing. The techniques are ancient in origin, and they were only known by a few. And then Master Choa Koksui, who's the founder of modern day pranic healing, brought it into the public domain in 1987. And since then, it's spread to 126 countries worldwide, which is incredible, in such a short space of time as well. So Master Choa Koksui, he was a chemical engineer and a scientist and a very successful businessman, and he studied the inner teachings of modalities and religions over a 30-year period, and carried out enormous amounts of analysis, and then put this knowledge into a package called Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. And from there, it literally can transform all areas of your life, whether it's finance, health, which we've spoken a lot about, but also relationships, finances, and spirituality. So it covers all aspects, which is what really piqued my interest, when Master Stephen Coe first came on the stage and he was talking about it, and then I went to learn more about it. So it's incredible. It's incredible, and it can help everybody of all ages, from babies through to, people who are in their later years and people who are pregnant. I mean, it just literally covers absolutely everything. So it, from the health aspects of it, it's anything from physical to psychological. So anybody with acute or severe, conditions or ailments. So if you've got stress and anxiety, for example, or addictions like with me, with smoking, or physical, we literally, it's a step-by-step guide that we follow. So if you came to me, then I would literally have a look. We have protocols for each of those conditions, and I learn the techniques to be able to do the protocols, and then a person will come, I'll do the protocol, and when the treatment's over, that's it until the next time. And they can vary, the amounts of treatments that people need. Some only need a few, some need more. So, but it's done on a a one-to-one basis, and it's whatever people are needing at that particular time, and we just go with however people are feeling, and we always check in and make sure that people are okay, and make sure at the end of the treatments everybody's fine. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to share with people, and to let people experience and actually relieve their symptoms of, because there's so many different types of ailments and conditions that are out there. So it's an amazing, I feel very privileged to have come across this, and also to be able to share that with others.
Yeah,
I think is the overall thing for me. It's amazing.
You sound so passionate about it. I'm curious. I've never experienced it. I've never been a recipient, so I'm curious. I've got a number of questions that I know my audience would love to hear your answers on. So for the first question that comes to mind, because a lot of my background is in health, mental health, and that kind of aspect is a big pillar in the business. So in terms of health, in terms of if I talk about physical health and the physical body, does pranic healing work on like the depth of cellular healing, or does it work on condition based, or how does it work in terms of the health aspect of how it can help people?
So it's condition based. So if somebody has got asthma, say for example, I would look, and like I say, it's a cookbook approach. So I'd look for the protocol of asthma. I would do the protocol step by step, and then when the protocol's finished, that's it. That's until the next one. So it's very much around condition based. So you would come to me, you'd get a diagnosis. The one thing and the important thing to say, it's a non-touch complementary therapy. So it's not instead of, it works very much with allopathic medicine. So it works hand in hand, and it helps in those ways. So we would always ask somebody to go and get a diagnosis from a health professional, from the doctor, and then we will work on that basis. There are, if people come to us and they have just general, they want to feel good, there are, we have protocols for that as well, just more general ones. But when people come to us, it's generally with a condition, and then we work through that condition with that person.
And then can you work with people who've got, I can imagine, and I know this has been my case personally, well, I've got this, and this. Can you work with multiple conditions? Or do you just work on one and then the next one, or do you work on them all together? Or how does it work in that case?
We can, depending on how many, to be honest. So we can work on if somebody is feeling quite emotional, so if people are feeling quite stressed, but then they've also got a physical condition, then I can do the two. If somebody's got 5 different physical conditions, then I would work one,
Yeah.
one and then the other and then the other. I wouldn't work on all of them all together.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything kind of emotional, from the psychological side, and then physical, absolutely. I often do that together, hand in hand.
They kind of go hand in hand, don't they? With so many things, the emotional and the psych and the physical. So let's talk about the next area in terms that you've mentioned as well, which I know a lot of people listening. It's been a big area that I've spoke about with various people, which is about the whole concept of money and finances and financial freedom and all of those kind of stuff. How does pranic healing work with people who've got, debt or worries or concerns about cash or any of that kind of pattern with money? Does it help in that way as well? Because you did mention in terms of finances or relationships. How does it work in that case?
Yes, it can. There are courses that people can go on. So we have the Kirishakti, and it works very much around your finances and looking at you being able, using the energy system to be able to help you with your finances. And it would be an injustice to do a quick snapshot of how that kind of works on here, because it's a course over several days.
Yeah.
And it's understanding kind of the energy system and how that works, and then how that can help you. But absolutely, it's fascinating, and this is why I love pranic healing so much. When you understand the energy system, you understand that there's so much to it, and which includes your finances. And when you can understand how that works and how each interact, how the energy centers within your bioplasmic field, because now the scientists have caught up, and now calling it the bioplasmic field and the energy centers, to allow the prana to move freely in and out. When you understand how that works, then you can really use it to your advantage. But you would need to go on the courses to be able to understand more of that.
And I guess that's a similar way in terms of relationships, when people have got, things more often. I understand with relationships, it's more about the emotional side of how people are feeling in different dynamics in different relationships. So I assume pranic healing just helps people clear emotional baggage or emotional negativity or that kind of thing, and then being able to get them more optimum and be able to choose relationships that are healthier.
Yeah, to some degree, that's absolutely. There are different blockages, and it helps to harmonise it. But the one thing I think, which is truly helpful as well, you come away with some really helpful tips to be able to help you, not just while you're on the course. And the same with the financial one. You come away with set things which continues with that work, but also gives you some extra tools in the box so you can move forward quite quickly and smoothly on it. And yeah, I've done many of those myself, and often include them in daily practice as well, because it's just really, really helpful.
Really good. So how start again? Who are the people that you really love to work with in terms of how you help people with this modality?
Absolutely everybody, Charlotte. I'll be honest. Anybody who would like to experience pranic healing, and wants to work to improve, whether it's your health, whether it's, like you say, the relationships, the finances, or spirituality, I open the doors to absolutely everybody. Anybody that would like to work with me. And it's at people of all ages. So I've worked on really young children. I've worked on people who are pregnant. I've worked on elderly people, and everybody has arrived at pranic healing from different ways, and it's lovely to hear their journey as well, and then to be able to be the best version of them in whatever that looks like for them. And sometimes it's health, sometimes like I say, with their relationships, or their finances, or kind of the spirituality side. And it's just lovely to be able to help everybody. Everybody who knocks on the door and would like to work with me. It's a wonderful thing, and I find it also a real privilege to be part of people's journeys. I think that's an important part as well for me. I got into this very much because I wanted to be the best version of myself, and if I can help anybody just along their way to achieve whatever they want to, because it completely puts them in control of all of their lives, and if I can be part of that, then I think that's a wonderful thing.
Totally agree. So how can people work with you? We will put all the details of how to get hold of Nicky underneath the podcast episode, so you can go and have a look, message her and get in touch. But how would people work with you? What is kind of like the ways that they can work with you?
Yeah, mostly I do remote, so I'll do through video call, through and so you can have a free 30-minute consultation first of all, because I want to make sure that it's right for them and it's right, the treatments are right for them as well as me, and as well as working with me. And then it's an hour-long treatment, and there is payment for that, but you can get in touch with me to find out. But most of them are remote. I can do in-person ones as well, but obviously I can work across the whole of the world. People have been on holiday in another country and they've said, I'm feeling a bit, can you help me? And it's like, yes, okay. Or it's people around the corner, so it's people more locally. I'm based in Greater Manchester, Cheshire East. That's kind of the area that I cover. But I can do wherever if it's remotely. So, yeah.
So you're here to help everybody, whatever age and wherever they are in the world. That's like a big mission, isn't it? And you welcoming anybody to have a conversation to see whether it's right for them.
Absolutely. 100%.
And your passion absolutely shines through. You really do adore. And I'd like the listeners to just tune into themselves for a moment to see whether you have your own version of this adoration for what it is that you're doing. Because Nicky exudes it. She really loves it. You can tell by how she is, her energy, and how she speaks about it, and her love for it. And I just want you to listen, as you're listening, see if you've got something in your life, whether it's a business, a modality, whether it's a person that you adore in some way, because it's a real great feeling to have when you actually do hook onto something like this. I've got it. Nicky's got it. When you hook onto something like this, it's like, oh my goodness, this is what I'm here to do. It really feels like fills you up from the inside out, and it's a non-negotiable. You're just going to be doing it. So I just want people to listen as they've listened to you, and definitely tune into whether they want to have a conversation with you, Nicky, but also to tune into themselves to see whether there's something in their life that they can actually exude this kind of adoration and love for. So thank you so much, Nicky. I'm dead excited that this is your first episode. You've absolutely nailed it. The last question that I want to ask you, which I ask everybody that comes on Becoming Fearless, is about a book that you have read that has helped you in your life, either in terms of overcoming fear or in terms of helping you be, the best version of yourself.
Yes, my book is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And the book is very much an inward reflection, which kind of goes back to, my own self-development. And it's about women, but not just women, the feminine side as well. And she's an amazing storyteller and uses a lot of mythical stories to be able to get her message across. But it's about being part of looking inwardly, and what the passion and the creativity and the relationships that you have and what that means, and how others, how you can interpret that. And she does it from a very psychological point of view, so you have to think about it. Her stories are because they're mythical, and she uses really descriptive words. It takes you inwardly, naturally, to really think about it. And then she summarises at the end of each story, because it's 14 short stories, which are all incredible and all have different messages. And I'm not surprised it got so many high reviews, because it's incredible. It's a really unique book that just addresses so many things as a person that we often overlook at, and it's only when we do deep inner reflection that those kind of things that come through, and it's what we want out of life, with relationships. So it is quite a deep book, but really thought-provoking, and I can't recommend it highly enough.
Is it one of those books where that you keep reading it, you reread it and get something different? Is it one of those types of books?
Yes, absolutely. And it talks about different challenges that people may have or may face, and how you can overcome those challenges, but in your own way. So once again, she puts you in the driving seat of it, because you're with your own thoughts, and it's the inward reflection of yourself and your own journey. So no two ways are the same, which I think is wonderful. And through her storytelling, she really brings that out. It's almost like she's talking to you as an individual, even though it's through a mythical story. It's just it's wonderful.
Very powerful author. I'll have to get that one, because I haven't read that one, but it sounds super, super powerful. So thank you so much, Nicky. We could have talked for way longer, but I will wrap it up. Thank you so much. Like I say, if you want to get a hold of Nicky, all of the details are under the podcast episode. Please do reach out and have a free conversation with her, and then you'll get an idea as to whether it's the right thing for you. And if it is, definitely take the leap and jump in, because I know Nicky has some fabulous results. So thank you so much, Nicky. I've really been honoured to be the one that allowed you to be into the podcast world.
Well, thank you so much as well, Charlotte. I really enjoyed it, and you've made it really easy and made me feel very, very welcomed. And it's lovely to speak to you again. It really is. It's a true delight. So thank you. Thanks for your time.
You are so welcome. So tune in to Nicky, go and follow her and see if that's something that you want to do. Find out a little bit more about pranic healing. It sounds like it's an awesome modality for certain people at certain stages in their life. So take care, and I will see you all on the next episode. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. I hope that you're feeling energised, fearless and inspired to take action today to stand in your greatness. I share even more tools and resources on my I Dare to Leap email newsletter. By signing up, you not only get early access to the I Dare to Leap products and services, but you also get brand new podcast episodes delivered straight to your inbox every Monday, meaning you'll never miss your weekly dose of becoming fearless energy. Sign up now at www.idaretoleap.com/newsletter, or click the link in the show notes below.